What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Realms of Metal. Eddie here, back with you from the happiest place on earth, my metal room here in the woods in PA. We're chilling, man. We're listening to some records, and I'm actually on vacation this week, so it's giving me a lot of time to, sink some of my time into the channel and do some videos. And this is one that I've been compiling for a couple weeks now, just kind of writing stuff down and trying to organize my thoughts a little bit. And we're going to talk about hypocrisy today. And I did a video like this a few days ago on death and Chuck Schuldiner. That was another one I was doing. So here's one on hypocrisy. We're going to go through a brief history of the band, all the full lengths, all the lineup changes. Such an amazing and important band, not only in the scope of death metal and extreme metal, but just in heavy metal in general. I feel it's one of those bands that need to be talked about more and celebrated more, and not a bad record in their discography. And let's talk some hypocrisy. So let's do a brief history on them. So let's talk about Peter Tägtgren first. I'm not going to go too much into him because I may even just do a video on him in the future. There's so much to talk about with Peter. He is from Ludvika, Sweden. And when he was a teenager or late teenager, his first band was called Conquest, that split up. He ended up moving to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where he became part of that whole budding death metal scene down there at that time. And I believe he got there around 88, and the death metal scene was just starting to take off and explode. He was there for about 3 years and then moved back to Sweden and formed Hypocrisy. Now, I think the original name he came up with was called Seditious, but shortly after it changed it to Hypocrisy. And he was basically a one-man show. He played all the instruments himself, and it was like a one-man project. Somehow he got hooked up with an independent record label at the time, which was Nuclear Blast at the time. It's pretty cool. Shortly after that, he got his band together, Masse Broberg, Michael Hedlund. Michael Hedlund was joined in 1992, and he's still a member to this day. Peter, one of my death metal heroes, along with Michael Hedlund. And I'd love to ask Peter about his time in Florida. I know if you watch the 20 Years of Chaos and Confusion documentary, he mentions Malevolent Creation, he mentions Monstrosity. I'd love to know, like, if he maybe almost formed a band down there, or if he planned on staying down there, or if he was always meant to go back to Sweden, like he was always going to go home. So I'd love to get him on the channel and ask him about that stuff. It's so intriguing to me, and I'm super interested about it. But we'll see if that ever happens or not. So Hypocrisy, formed in 1991 in Ludvika, Sweden, by Peter Tägtgren. So let's talk about Peter Tägtgren a little bit. Like I said, a living legend and one of my death metal heroes, along with Michael. So amazingly talented. Not only does he front Hypocrisy, but he does another band called Pain, which is like an industrial metal band, still active. I believe he's writing new stuff for Pain right now, and there's some new stuff coming out. I'm not into a lot of industrial type rock or metal. I mean, I like Nine Inch Nails, I like some old Ministry, but I mean, he kind of opened up that door for me to experiment in the industrial route. I know Sam Isle went that way a little bit, and I liked some of the Sam Isle stuff too. But if you're not familiar with Pain, go on YouTube, type in Pain, Shut Your Mouth. That's such a good song. It's such a fun video. Like, this fucking alien lands in his backyard, and he walks into his house, and he's fucking in his fridge drinking his milk, and Peter's hilarious in the video. The alien is hilarious in the video. You're going to watch that and instantly become a fan. So Pain, Shut Your Mouth, check it out. He was also in a black metal band he started called The Abyss back in 1994 to 1998. It was like a black metal side project. 2 records, The Other Side and Some of the Beast. Really good stuff. Speaking of The Abyss, he started his own recording studio called The Abyss since about 1995 or so, if I'm not mistaken. And he's done so much, when it comes to producing records, mixing, mastering. He did the Possessed record, the comeback record, Revelations of Oblivion 2019. I love that record. I love what he did with it. He's done Marduk, Grave, Flesh Crawl, Destruction, Dark Funeral, Belphegor, Amon Amarth. Just the list keeps going and going. Not only does he do that, but he was in Lockup for a while. He was in Bloodbath. He was in a band called War, which is like another black metal side project. He was with Lindemann for a while, the guy from Rammstein. If you watch my videos, you know I'm not a big Rammstein fan. I guess I never even listened to the Lindemann stuff. I can't do it. But he did that as well. So there's a brief history on Hypocrisy and a little bit on Peter, and just to kind of get us going here. So Hypocrisy has 13 full lengths. Now, if you're looking at like Metal Archives, it shows 14, but there's a release called Catch 22, and that was actually redone. So the original of Catch 22, the original was 2002, and he recorded it and re-recorded it in 2008. So I'm only going to count that once. So we've got 13 full lengths, spanning from 1992 all the way till the present day. Worship was 2021, I believe, and we'll get to that. So let's get at it, man. Let's talk about some records. Let's talk about Hypocrisy. 1992, Penetralia. Now, all these Hypocrisy records are on Nuclear Blast, so I'm not even going to say the label. They were all originally released on Nuclear Blast, so that's pretty amazing to have one band on their label the whole career, So we've got Peter Tagarin. Let's play a drinking game. Every time I say Peter Tagarin, just take a drink. You'll be drunk in about 5 minutes. Trust me. So Peter Tagarin on guitars and vocals and keyboards. Masse Broberg on vocals. Michael Hedlund on bass. Lars Zoke on drums. And Jonas Osterberg on guitar. Jonas Osterberg had another band around that time called Epitaph. And other than that, I don't know much about him. This was his only record with Hypocrisy. So amazing record, man. Like one of my favorite records probably of all time. The first two Hypocrisy records have that evil, Satan thing going on. I love all that stuff. Like I eat that shit up. After those two, they kind of went like a more alien type route. But these first two are like really satanic lyrics, and I kind of like that. But this was produced and mixed by Peter Tagarin with Marcus Steiger, who incidentally is the founder of Nuclear Blast Records, which formed in 1987. Co-produced by Peter Steiger, I believe. Cover art by Dan Seagrave. Everybody knows who he is. Music videos for Left to Rot and Impotent God. And, I can't say enough good things about this record. When the reissues came out, I unboxed it and we talked about it for a little bit. I mean, look at that side B. Left to Rot, Burned by the Cross, To Escape is to Die, Take the Throne, Penetralia. So amazing. You're like, fuck. Like that intro to Penetralia, like I said, it just kind of like takes you to another place. It's so fucking epically good. So 1992's Penetralia. Let's go a year later, 1993, Osculum Obscenum, which means obscene kiss. We've got Peter Tagarin on guitars and keyboards, Masse Broberg on vocals, Michael Hedlund on bass, and Lars Zoke on drums again. Jonas Osterberg was not on this record. He was out of the band. So black metal, Venom cover on this one. Very good. Produced and mixed by Peter Tagarin, again with Marcus Steiger as co-producer. Cover art by Wes Benscoter, who did cover art for Autopsy, Deceased, Cattle Decapitation, Sinister, Mortician, among others. Really good record. Pleasure of Molestation, Exclamation of Necrophag, Osculum Obscenum, Necronomicon, really good. Black metal, Venom cover. Inferior Devities, Infant Sacrifices, Attachment to the Ancestor, super underrated. Althotas. 1993's Osculum Obscenum, definitely a must-have. Let's go to 1994. We've got The Fourth Dimension. The lineup on this was Peter Tagarin on guitars, vocals, and keyboards, Michael Hedlund on bass, and Lars Zoke on drums. Masse was out of the band. And if you watch the 20 Years of Chaos and Confusion documentary, watch that and you'll see why. But another great record. Now, this was sort of like a shift away from what they were doing with the first two records. You can kind of see where they were going, slightly more melodic, um, but still an amazing record. Uh, so Masse Broberg was out. He would join Dark Funeral as Emperor Magus Caligula. That was his name, an emperor. Produced and mixed by Peter Tagarin, co-produced by Marcus Steiger again, mastered and engineered by Gunnar Sillen, cover art by Peter Gran, who did cover art for Therion, Pain, Dimmu Borgir. Actually, the cover model was Michael Hedlund. That was him on the cover. So Apocalypse, how great is that one? Mind Corruption, Reincarnation, Reborn, Black Forest, Never to Return, Path to Oblivion, Slaughtered, really good one. Forget Pantera Slaughtered. This is the Slaughtered that you want. Orgy and Blood, North Wind, Tempt, Fourth Dimension, Arrival of the Demons, Part 1. Yeah, really good. The Fourth Dimension, 1994. And again, all these are on Nuclear Blast. Let's go to 1996. It's Abducted. Same lineup as the Fourth Dimension. Peter on guitars, vocals, and keyboards. Michael Hedlund on bass. Lars Oak on drums. Mixed and produced by Peter Tagarin. Mastered by Peter Indebatu, if I'm saying that right. He's done a ton of stuff. He's done stuff for Arch Enemy, Dismember, Meshuggah, Necrophobic, on and on and on. Again, cover art by Peter Gran, music video for Roswell 47, one of the best Hypocrisy tracks ever. The Gathering, Roswell 47, Killing Art, Arrival of the Demons Part 2. Buried, Abducted, Paradox, Point of No Return, When the Candle Fades, Carved Up, Reflections, Slipping Away. I think I talked about when we unboxed it. It's like death metal meets Pink Floyd. So good. We'll take it to another dimension, really. And Drained is kind of like follows the same formula as that. So really good record. Hypocrisy's Abducted, man, 1996. Let's go to 1997. We got the final chapter. Same lineup as the previous couple of records. Peter Tagarin, guitars, vocals, keyboards. Michael Hedlund on bass. Lars Oak on drums. Razor cover on here. Evil Invaders, really good. Produced and mixed by Peter Tagarin. Artwork again by Peter Gran. Music video for the final chapter. And originally this was supposed to be their final record. Like the band Peter felt was not going well at the time. He actually goes into it on that documentary, The 20 Years of Chaos and Confusion. So watch that. It's a must watch if you're a Hypocrisy fan. And I'm glad it was not their last record because we got so many more great releases after this, so Inseminated Adoption, A Coming Race, really good. Dominion, Inquire Within, really good. Last Vanguard, Request Denied, another really good one. Oh, fuck. The Final Chapter, 1997. Let's go to 1999. The self-titled Hypocrisy record. Same lineup as the previous three records. Peter Tagarin, guitars, vocals, keyboards. Michael Hedlund, bass. Lars Oak on drums. Produced and mixed by Peter Tagarin. Keep drinking. Engineered by Tommy Tagarin, which is his brother, right? He's actually done work for Wolf in Society, which is one of Vincent Crowley's bands. Check out Wolf in Society. I don't think they're doing that anymore, but he did that EP. Grave, Sabaton, mastered by Peter Indebatu. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, Peter. Cover art by Thomas Uerhard, and there was a CD bonus track, Self-Inflicted Overload, which is actually on the re-release of the vinyl. So really good. Fractured Millennium, killer Hypocrisy track. Apocalyptic Hybrid, Fusion Program Minds, Elastic Inverted Visions, Reversed Reflections, Until the End, another really killer one. Fuck, Until the End is so good. Paranormal Mysteria, Time Warp, Disconnected Magnetic Corridors, Pale Empty Sphere, and Self-Inflicted Overload on this one. So 1999, self-titled Hypocrisy. Let's go to their 7th full length, and it's called Into the Abyss. Came out in 2000. Same lineup as the previous 4 records. Peter Taggart, guitars, vocals, keyboards. Michael Hedlund on bass. Lars Zoch on drums. Produced and mixed by Peter Taggart. Co-produced by Lars Zoch. Mastered again by Peter Indebatu. Cover art again by Thomas Urehard. You know, he's done all kinds of covers. Amon Amarth, Hammerfall, Destruction, Cataclysm. He's got some really good work. And another really good record, Into the Abyss. Legions Descend, Blinded, Resurrected, Unleash the Beast, Digital Prophecy, Fire in the Sky. How great is that? Whenever I just think of that scene of Fire in the Sky when the fucking guy's laying on a table and the alien's on top of him, and he puts that fucking shit over his face and he pokes a hole in it, he puts that fucking jelly in his mouth, and just a scene that I know freaks a lot of people out, but it fucking freaked me out back in the day too. So Fire in the Sky, incidentally, a really good track on here. Total Eclipse, Unfold the Sorrow, Sodomized, Death Row, No Regrets. Another great album by Hypocrisy, man. So 2000s, Into the Abyss. And that's all I have on vinyl except for the new one. So everything else I have on CD. So we'll talk some CDs now. I got some CDs here. So let's go to 2002. This is Catch 22. 2002, same lineup as the previous 5 records. Peter Taggart, guitars, vocals, keyboards. Michael Hedlund on bass. Lars Zoch on drums. Produced by Peter Taggart. Mastered by Bjorn Engelman, who's done work for His Pain, Behemoth, Sam Isle, In Flames. Cover art again by Thomas Urehard. Music video, Turn the Page. This record was re-recorded and re-released in 2008. Apparently they were getting a lot of shit by the fans that didn't like it for whatever reason. So there was a statement that Peter had put out. We still think it's a great record, a great fucking album, but it got slammed and misunderstood because of the vocal style and the drum sound. So here was the original. Here was the redo that they re-released in 2008. I got both versions, and I like them both. I really do, So this one had a bonus track on it called Nowhere to Run. That was the re-release. So here they are, Catch 22, and second volume of Catch 22. So I think they're both killer records. So let's go to the 9th full length. It's The Arrival. It's from 2004. Same lineup as the previous 6 records. Peter Taggart, guitars, vocals, keyboards. Michael Hedlund on bass. Lars Zoch on drums. This was the last album to feature Lars Zoch. Produced and mixed by Peter Taggart with Michael Hedlund co-producing. Mastered by Bjorn Engelman. Cover art again by Thomas Urehard. Music video for Eraser. And Dan Swano wrote some lyrics to a lot of the tracks in here, like 6 tracks. And one of the guys, Silenos from Demon Borgir, wrote lyrics to 1 track. So it's a pretty interesting tidbit, right? Born Dead, Buried Alive, Eraser, Stillborn, Slave to the Parasites, really good. New World, The Abyss. The Abyss is so good. Dead Sky Dawning, The Departure, War Within. So The Arrival, 2004. Another really good record by Hypocrisy. Let's go to the 10th full length. It's called Virus. This is the record where Hypocrisy started including lyrics with the records, which, I never forget shit like that because I'm such a lyric fiend, So 2005, we've got some lineup changes in here. We've got Peter Taggart, guitars, vocals, and keyboards. Michael Hedlund on bass. Andreas Homa on guitar on this one. And Horg on drums from Immortal. His first record with Immortal was Blizzard Beast. I'm a big Horg fan. I think his real name is Reader Horghagen. Like, can you get a more metal name than Reed or Horghagen? You know, like just screams heavy metal, death metal, black metal, extreme metal. So another one I really love. Um, Music video for Scrutinized on this one. Produced and mixed by Peter Tägtgren, mastered again by Bjorn Engelman. Cover art by Anthony Clarkson on this one, who did cover art for like Fear Factory, Vital Remains, Goat Whore, Devin Townsend. And incidentally, guest musician on the track Scrutinized by another one of my metal heroes, Gary fucking Holt, on that track doing lead guitar. And I didn't even know that, but when I remember when I listened to this record and I heard that solo, I'm like, damn, that sounds like Gary Holt. Like he's got such a signature style, right? And then I went in and I'm like, oh, it is Gary Holt, you know. So Gary fucking Holt guesting on a Hypocrisy record doesn't get much better than that. Great record, incidentally. Warpath, Scrutinized, Fearless, Craving for Another Killing. Let the Knife Do the Talking, really killer. 1,000 Lies, Incise Before I've Ceased, Blood Drench, Compulsive Psychosis, Living to Die. 2005's Virus. Let's go to 2009, A Taste of Extreme Divinity. And again, these are all on Nuclear Blast. Same lineup as Virus, minus Andreas Homa. You've got Peter Tägtgren, guitars, vocals, and keyboard. Michael Hedden on bass, Horg back on drums. Produced, engineered, and mixed by Peter Tägtgren, mastered by Jonas Jelgren, who's done work for Amorphous, Sentinex, Demonical, Immortal. He's also a musician. He's in a few bands, a death metal band called Iron Master, who I'm going to check out eventually. Another one called World Below, which is like a doom metal band. Cover art by Christian Whalen, who's done cover art for Bathory, At the Gates, Dissection, Merciful Fate. He's in a band as well called Diabolique, so I'll check them out too. Music video for Weed Out the Week on this one, and there was a North American bonus track called The Sinner. So here's the back of that. Valley of the Damned, Hang 'Em High, Solar Empire, Weed Out the Week, No Tomorrow, Global Domination, Taste the Extreme Divinity, Alive, The Quest, Tamed, Filled with Fear, Sky is Falling Down. Another great Hypocrisy record, 2009's A Taste of Extreme Divinity. Let's go to 2013, End of Disclosure. Same lineup as the last record. Peter Tägtgren, guitars, vocals, and keyboards. Michael Hedlund on bass and Horgback on drums. Produced, mixed, and recorded by Peter Tägtgren. Cover art by Wes Benscoter, who's back. He did the Osculum Obscenum cover, which we just talked about. Mastered by Jonas Jelgren, and he actually did a guest lead guitar spot on this record as well on Tales of Thy Spineless. So music video, Tales of Thy Spineless. Bonus tracks on this one. Some of the versions are Living Dead and They Lie, which is an exploited cover. So this one has Living Dead on it, but doesn't have the exploited cover on it. But another great record by Hypocrisy, man. End of Disclosure, Tales of Thy Spineless, The Eye, United We Fall, 4400, Hell Is Where I Stay, Soldier of Fortune, When Death Calls, The Return, bonus track Living Dead. So End of Disclosure, 2013. And last but not least, the 13th full length from Hypocrisy called Worship. This one I actually have on vinyl, and I got the CD. Again, all these on Nuclear Blast. Same lineup as the last two records. You got Peter Tägtgren on guitar, vocals, and bass. He plays some bass on it. Michael Hedlund on bass, and Horgback on drums. I know Horg left the band last year sometime. He's not in Hypocrisy anymore, so really it's just Peter and Michael right now. So produced and mixed by Peter Tägtgren, mastered by Svante Forsback, who's done a ton of shit, man. He's done stuff with Sam Isle, Volbeat, Amorphous, Fintroll, just to name a few. Cover art by Blake Armstrong, who's done cover work for In Flames, Cataclysm, Carnifex. A lot of music videos on this one. They did one for Chemical Horror. Great track. Dead World, Children of the Gray, Warship, They Will Arrive. Um, Super killer. Lyrically, you read the lyrics to this, and it's just somebody knows what the fuck's going on. It's like calling out all the bullshit and just calling shit how they see it. I love the lyrics on this whole record. You know, it's just calling out bullshit that's going on in the world right now. And I couldn't agree more with the sentiments on this record lyrically. You know, I really love it. Warship, Chemical Whore, Greedy Bastards, Dead World, We're the Walking Dead, Brotherhood of the Serpent, Children of the Gray, Another Day, They Will Arrive, Bug in the Net, Gods of the Underground. Love this one so much. And incidentally, this is the first metal album ever to be launched into space. And I'm not fucking joking about that. Go on YouTube and check it out. It was like attached to some kind of fucking rocket thing or whatever the hell it was that got launched into the atmosphere. And supposedly it's the first metal album ever to be launched into space. Who knew? So, there it is. Hypocrisy's Warship 2021. So there you have it. Like I said, I'm a huge Hypocrisy fan. Big fan of Peter Tägtgren. So you got a brief history of the band, all the records, all the lineup changes. I think I may just do a video on Peter himself. Like, he deserves it, all the stuff that he's into, and maybe go into his history a little bit deeper. Such an important band, Hypocrisy. Peter Tägtgren, such an important figure in the metal world. No bad records, in my opinion. Say what you want about Catch-22. I still think it's a good record. You know, if you're watching this and you're not familiar with Hypocrisy, you know, hopefully this video will at least get you to check them out a little bit. Maybe buy a record. Maybe if you like that record, buy another one. So hopefully I've turned you on to Hypocrisy a little bit. So check them out. Important band. And, you know, this video took a lot of time for me to compile all this information. You know, I used the 20 Years of Chaos and Confusion documentary. I used, you know, Wikipedia. I used the Metal Archives, you know, stuff that I've seen. I use the records, you know, to, you know, for research and stuff. So took a lot of time, but it was a labor of love. I loved every second of it. I listened to Hypocrisy the whole while I was doing it, you know, so there you have it. Check out Hypocrisy if you're not familiar. And thank you to everybody who's, you know, watching the videos, liking the videos, commenting, subscribing. We really appreciate that here. I'm going to be doing a t-shirt giveaway for Realms of Metal. I'm going to post a video up, a short video, and I'll post it on the page. Anybody who subscribes and comments, whatever comment you want to put, I don't really give a shit what it is. Whether you love the show, you hate the show, it's all good. Tell me your favorite band. Tell me your favorite record, you know. And I'm going to let my daughter actually go through the comments and pick the winner, and I'll contact you, and I'm going to send you a free Realms of Metal shirt. So there you have it. Thanks for hanging with me, and we'll see you guys again real soon. Have a good one. I appreciate you all.